Hello, guys, and welcome back to the Breaking Butterfly podcast. Before we get into today's episode, I have a very special announcement. I have a brand new free training for you guys, and this one might as well be a full-ass program, I'm telling you. If you're an online coach or service provider and you haven't yet hit those 10K months, this training is going to be for you. After hitting 10 to 30K months consistently for over 3 years now, I have learned a few things. And there's really 3 reasons that you haven't yet hit that 10K month. Obviously, I am all about confidence. This podcast is all about confidence. And when it comes to your business, it's still all about your confidence. If you are creating from your head, you're not in your heart, you're overthinking, you're in self-doubt, you're not in your full power and your full iconicness, this is going to be an issue in your business, and you're not going to sign the clients that you want. You're not going to attract the people, have the launches, get the engagement that you want, because who would want to watch you when you don't even believe in yourself? Who would want to work with you when you are overthinking every single thing that you do? So this training is going to be hitting on confidence and my 4-part unique formula for building confidence. The second reason you haven't yet hit your 10K month is because your offer and your content is bland. It's not fully authentic. It's blending in with all of the white noise on social media, and you're not actually creating things that connect with people and things that people actually want. So essentially, and this is still a part of that confidence aspect, you need to learn what makes you stand out and use it and show up in your full power and show up with the specificity and the spice in your content and in your offerings. So it's not just this, broad, bland thing that is kind of regurgitated and we've seen a million times. You have to find that authenticity and create an irresistible offer and content that people actually want to read. And the third reason that you are not making 10K months is because you don't have an actual strategy for generating clients. You have no real rhyme or reason to what you are doing. And essentially, you need a foolproof strategy that is going to generate guaranteed consistent clients every single month. A guaranteed way of getting audience members on calls with you to talk about your offers, to help them, and to essentially get them into an offering of yours if it is aligned. So if you don't have a strategy and you're just posting and you're hoping that someone's going to DM you, hoping that someone's going to book a discovery call with you just out of the blue, this is not the vibe. You need an actual strategy, a heart-centered strategy. And this is what I'm going to be teaching you in this training. I'm going to give you my strategy for free. I'm going to teach you about the confidence, the irresistible offers and content, and then how to actually get potential clients on calls. And once you master these 3 things, your business is truly going to make a complete 180, I promise you. So if you want to join this training, again, it's absolutely free. It's going to be happening June 27th at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time. But if you're listening to this after that date, do not stress, do not worry. There's going to be a replay. There's always a replay with me. I want you guys to get all of this content. You get to keep it. And I'm super excited to see you guys there. Let me know if you guys have any questions, and the link will be in the show notes. Okay, now let's get into today's episode. Hello, guys. All right, let's get into today's episode. I am super excited for this one because I feel like this is actually one of my most requested topics, or people always want tips from me about this topic. And I don't know how I haven't created this podcast yet, but here we are. We're doing it now. And I think what I have to share with you guys is going to be so helpful. But all the time, truly, all the time, I get, how can I be more confident in front of the camera? How can I be more comfortable getting photos taken of me? People tend to feel really unconfident and uncomfortable, and that's completely natural. It's not natural necessarily to get photos taken of you and see yourself from all types of angles and different lightings. So it's okay that it feels uncomfortable. And there's a lot of things that you can do to get comfortable so that the next time that you are, taking photos with your friends, or even you have like an official professional photo shoot, you're going to be able to feel really confident. And not only that, you're going to be able to look better in the photos, because taking photos of yourself or getting photos taken of yourself, it really is like a skill. Um, and it seems like some people are just like good at it and some people aren't. But the people who are good at it, I mean, they've had practice and practice and practice. They've done it time and time again, and that really is where a lot of the confidence comes from. Is just practicing, and we'll get into that and like how to actually like quote unquote practice, right? Um, but yeah, we're going to dive into the energetics and like the mindset of, being confident in front of the camera. And then we're going to talk about what to actually do. So I'm going to give you guys like some posing tips, and some guidance on, yeah, how to like efficiently, quote unquote, practice taking photos of yourself. Okay. So I think this is gonna be super helpful, especially so this is helpful for anyone and everyone, obviously, because we all take photos with like our friends and at festivals and things. But especially for entrepreneurs, I just want to take a moment and like inspire you or encourage you. If you have not gotten a photo shoot done in a while, like if you don't have fresh photos, do it. Like find a photographer, book a photo shoot, or if you want to have like a friend do it or something, like you have your own camera, whatever, I recommend doing it with an actual photographer. Um, it's so worth the money. It's worth the time. It's worth the energy. It's worth the money. Like it can just completely up level your brand and the way that you show up and your energy when you show up online. I just think it's so important to have fresh photos that you really, really love. And also getting like B-roll of the photo shoot and everything. It's just super helpful for consistent content creation, making everything look, up leveled. And I don't want to say the word professional, but it's going to make everything look really, really iconic and nice and good. So before we get into things, I just want to say, like, if you haven't booked a photo shoot in a while, do it. That is like a business investment. That is so, so worth it. Okay, let's get into these tips. So I want to dive into the mindset first. So I remember going to a school dance, probably like I had to be like a sophomore. Like I probably was like freshly 16, and I went to a dance with a bunch of girls and they were all taking photos. And there was these two girls, they were like taking photos of each other and they were so confident. It was like shoe on the other foot. Now I'm the person people will come up to and are like, "How are you so confident in front of the camera? Like how do you just know how to pose?" Well, that was me. I was looking at these two girls and I was like, how help, like they're like, "Oh, let's take some photos," and I was like, "Help, pose me, like I don't know what to do, like I feel so awkward, like I just feel so weird." And this girl turned to me, I will never forget this ever, and she said, "Girl, if you feel hot, you look hot." And I was like, "Oh shit, okay." That was like the most iconic thing that someone could say. It was very like Mean Girls, like high school vibe. Like she was just like, if you feel hot, you look hot. And I was like, okay, period, slay. Like, got it. And that stuck with me. Now, what, 10 years later, over 10 years later, I still think about that. And I still believe that beauty is an energy. A lot of times the photos that we like, they're the ones that are more natural, candid. It's of us just like happy, smiling. Someone like catches us in like a laugh or something. And those are the photos that we love. And it's because we're just like in our element, just like feeling ourselves, right? Or like we're like dancing on the dance floor and someone just gets like the perfect shot of us or like perfect little video. We're like, we love that. And it's because we feel comfortable, right? And so you have to, even though it feels uncomfortable to be in front of the camera, you've got to just like shift something within you. And again, this can take practice and this can take time, but just think, instead of being like, "Oh, like I probably look so weird," literally just like get into your body, like a true embodiment practice, get into your body and be like, okay, if I feel good in my body right now, it's going to look good. Like, what can I do to just like feel good? And that's going to shift a lot, especially with like your face and how your face is sitting. Your expression is so, even like if you're feeling a type of way, it's going to show on your face, even in the most minimal way. Even just like a little bit in your eyes, like you will be able to see it. So if you're trying to look hot, but you feel uncomfortable, you're going to see that in the photo, right? But if you just like say some affirmations to yourself, do some deep breathing, get into your body, just try to like do what you think will be cute and just own it and like have that confidence, you're going to look better on camera, right? So yeah, just wanted to share that that little tip that I got from a sophomore 10 years ago when she turned to me and said, if you feel hot, you'll look hot. So, okay, but what do you do if you really don't feel hot? Okay, we talked about like breathing, affirmations, all that good stuff. But another mindset that I want to bring to you is like a lot of times we don't feel confident in front of the camera because we've had so many bad photos of us taken in the past, and we feel like we feel almost like embarrassed or nervous of like what the photos are going to look like. Like if you knew that the photos were going to be amazing, like someone's taking photos of you and you know it's going to look amazing, you're not going to feel very uncomfortable. You're not going to feel awkward. You're just going to be like doing your shit. So a lot of times our lack of confidence comes from the past and what we've experienced in the past. And so you might get in front of this camera and you're thinking of all of the bad photos you've ever had taken of yourself. Guys, you only see people's highlights. And everybody behind their one really good picture, I promise you, I guarantee they have 100 bad ones. Everybody. Even like you have to kind of break the your reality, right? You have to like shatter the glass, because right now you just see everyone's perfect pictures and it looks like everyone just looks so good in photos, and then that's why you feel embarrassed because you're like, I look so bad in them. No, no, no. Every single person you see on social media, every photo has like multiple bad ones behind that photo. Like maybe 10, maybe 50, literally maybe 100. When I take photos, there's so many good ones. Yes, there's so many bad ones. And when you realize this, you can take other people off a pedestal and take yourself out of the trash and be like, okay, actually, I don't look like shit. Actually, like, I don't suck at taking photos. It's normal. It's actually normal to get like hundreds of photos and only have like a couple good ones. So remember that. That can also help you realize that, like, it's not just you. It's not just you. And it'll stop you from getting disappointed. I think that's like a huge thing with photos and why people feel uncomfortable. It's like they don't want to get disappointed. Okay. Now, the last thing about mindset that I really want to share is, and if you've been here on the podcast for a long time, you've heard this before, but to love yourself is to accept yourself. Okay. Loving yourself isn't about loving every single thing about yourself. It is about accepting yourself. Just accepting how you look, accepting what your style is, accepting your laugh, accepting how your voice sounds, right? Maybe, you will get to a point where like you love it and you just like love, everything about yourself. Um but a lot of it is about acceptance. That love can only come from acceptance. And when people start to try to love themselves, um, there's this like expectation wrapped up. Like we kind of have this expectation around, what it is like or what we need to be like to love ourselves. So when you are taking photos of yourself and you don't feel confident at all, it's probably because you're having some kind of expectation around who you should be, what it should look like, just the results of it. When in reality, you need to just like accept it. Like accept, you know, like how your skin looks in the photos, how your hair looks, like what your I don't know, just anything that you look like. it comes from this like deep place of acceptance. And that's how you're going to get the photos back and be like, oh my God, actually, I look amazing. Because you don't have this like expectation of what it should be. You're just accepting this is who I am. This is what I look like. This is me. And you just got to love yourself. So for me, that's been super helpful. Um, again, in not being like disappointed and not being like, you can only be unconfident about who you think that you are, but you can only be confident in who you actually are. So a lot of times, yeah, when we're not accepting who we are and just being who we are, yeah, we just have like these expectations. We're like thinking about what we should look like, what we should this and what we should that, and it's just like not gonna put you in that confident, empowered place where you're just like owning who the fuck you are. And that again, like beauty is an energy. I truly believe that, and I think that that is gonna count way more than you looking perfect in whatever way you think that you're supposed to. Does that make sense? So when I say like you can't be unconfident about who you are, you can only be unconfident in who you think that you are, right? When you fully accept yourself and you just land into like who you are and just love yourself for being you, that's where the real magic happens. Okay, so there's some like mindsets to kind of like help you shift a little bit. But here's the doing part, and this is where the magic is really going to happen, and where you're going to see big shifts in your confidence. So when you're taking photos, have inspo pictures. Like always have inspo. Go on Pinterest, look up like photoshoot, or look up like whatever aesthetic that you're going for. There are so many photos on Pinterest. Download all of them, put them in a folder, and actually look at them. Essentially, being good at posing is creating like muscle memory around the poses that look good for you and like memorizing poses. Okay. When I go into a photo shoot, like I'm not just like posing randomly. I know exactly how I want to position my body, what is going to look good. And I also know that for my specific body. So it started with me having inspo pictures. Any photo shoot I go into, I have the whole Pinterest board. I either like have the Pinterest board or I'll like download them, put them actually in my phone, have a whole album that I can like easily scroll through and mimic different poses that I like. This is super important because yes, if you feel hot, you look hot. And also, there have been times where like I felt hot and I didn't look hot because of like little tiny things of not positioning my head the right way and like the lighting, or having my feet too far apart, or having one of my hands like really weird. You know, it's not, super common that will happen. Like if you're just posing naturally, like you should get some really good shots. You're going to get good shots and bad shots no matter what, whether you're posing perfectly or not. But yeah, so it's not like super common that like you'll have a hand all weird if you're like really in your element. But sometimes there's just, I thought it looked so good and it didn't. And this is where the practicing comes in. Is once I have my inspo pics and I start practicing these poses, the first like, however many photo shoots I did, I would go back and look at the photos that I got, look at the ones that I loved and look at the ones that I didn't love. And then I would literally take notes, like mental notes on like if it was a photo that I didn't like, what did I not like about it? And how can I like remember to not do that in the next photo shoot? So, for example, yeah, there was like this one photo shoot, and all of the photos, I was like, my legs were just too far apart. I don't know. I was doing this like weird power stance, and it just didn't look good at all. It looked like weird. It like felt cool, but it like just didn't translate on camera. And so then I always remembered, okay, I need to like put my feet closer together. Or sometimes I'll like stick out my stomach too much. Um, and I'll just kind of like arch my back, whereas I need to actually have like posture. So I take these little mental notes, right? Where I took the inspo pics, I mimicked those poses, got my photos back, look at those photos, see what I did wrong with those poses, and then I take it into the next photo shoot. So now I'm in my next one getting the photos taken, and I'm like, okay, posture straight, chin up, legs together, make sure my hand isn't weird. Boom. They take the photo. Like, it's probably amazing because I have already um, tweaked it. Like, I've already trial and errored this pose. Like, it's like um, yeah, you're like mastering these different poses that you like put in your toolbox almost. So now when I go into a photo shoot, I know like my 12 to 15 best poses. Like standing, sitting on the ground. I just know what looks good, and again what looks good with my body because I've done photo shoots and been able to like take tips from my own photo shoots. So, look at your old photos. Like even right now, if you just open your phone, look at photos that your friends have taken of you, or just like even if you have a photo shoot or something, make albums of the ones that you like, the ones that you don't like, and then go through, memorize the things that you did like, and practice them in the mirror. If you have a photo that you love and you're obsessed with, practice it in the mirror and almost make it this like muscle memory. So the next time you get in front of the camera, you're gonna feel so confident because you know what to do. You're not gonna be like, oh, pose me, like help, like I don't know what I'm doing, like hee hee, like awkward. You're just like, okay, I know my 3 poses. I know I look good like this. I've done it a million times. Boom. Right? This is the piece. Like this is where the magic really happens. Um, for me, one of the biggest things that I've had to learn and kind of like do this like muscle memory for is lighting and how to position your face. So essentially, you don't want any shadows on your face ever. I have so many photos of myself that would have been great, but my photo was just, or not my photo, my face was turned so that there was like a shadow on it and it made me look weird. Or if you're in like harsh, direct lighting from like the top, it's going to make your skin look weird because there's all these shadows. So, wherever the light is, you want to turn your face towards it. This is so important to learn and will completely change the results of your photos. So, wherever the light is, whether it's the sun or like a studio light or whatever, just make sure that you're not like half in it, half out. And so, if you're taking photos at like midday, for example, it's like noon, you're at a festival, you want to get photos. I mean, I honestly would just like recommend waiting till the sun goes down a little bit, but like it's happening, you and your friends are taking photos. For me, like I'll have to do a lot of shots where I'm kind of like leaning my head back. Like I'm like, if you're watching me on YouTube right now, you can like see what I'm doing. If you're on podcast, you can just try to imagine. Like I'll just like put my head back like I'm like relaxing kind of, and I'll like close my eyes, put my hand on my chest, and so that my face is like hitting the sun and the sun's just like straight on my face. You're gonna have to like put your face up to the sun, or find somewhere that's shaded. If you can find somewhere that has enough shade that you're completely in the shade, that would also be key as well. The direct harsh lighting, it's always just gonna like make you feel bad. And again, that kind of goes into the mindset tip that I was sharing earlier around like just realizing that everyone has bad photos. But if you can eliminate as many bad photos as possible, you're going to feel more confident in yourself. And that's one of the ways that you can eliminate bad photos is just not being in that direct light. So know your good lighting, be either fully in the shadow or fully in the light and have your face towards it. Now, if you don't know exactly how your face is going to look, this is where when you hold a pose, you hold it and then have your friend take like, or the photographer take like 3 to 4 photos and just move your head slightly. So have your chin down, put your chin up, and then turn your chin like the other way. Now you have 3 photos of the same pose, but your face is just like a little bit tilted in all of them. So then you get to decide which one you think your face looks better in. And it makes a huge difference, even just like a little bit of a tilt. So when I'm modeling, I'm like in a pose, I like move my head around a little bit, then I move to the next pose, I'll move my head around a little bit just to make sure we get like every angle, and I'll kind of just like shift my body a little bit to just like make sure we get the right shot. And that's why it's good to take so many photos, like literally take hundreds of photos. Because there might be one where your body's like almost perfect and it almost looks really flattering, but like something was off. And if you would have just taken one more, it would have been like the perfect photo. So take as many photos as possible. And the last thing I wanted to share about what to do is just genuinely wear something that makes you feel comfortable. Don't wear anything that's like too tight or like gives you like a weird crease or that you just don't like. I don't know why you would take photos in something you don't like, but really like wear something that you feel comfortable in, that you feel really, really good in. And obviously, that's going to like completely shift your confidence and your energy. If, you know, if you feel hot, you look hot. And if you want to feel hot, wear something that makes you feel amazing. So don't be afraid to like buy new clothes, buy new accessories, something that you're really excited about. Um, because the way that you express yourself and your clothes and your jewelry can shift your energetics so much and the way that you show up. So, for your mindset, if you feel hot, you look hot, just get into it, do the deep breathing, affirmations, accept yourself, accept exactly who you are. Don't have like high expectations. Remember that everybody takes bad photos. It's not just you. So don't get disappointed, don't get discouraged. Just like again, accept yourself, let it be. And for the do's and what you should be doing for your photo shoots and how to be confident and comfortable in front of the camera is to have inspo pics, know your poses, memorize your poses, take notes of your past photo shoots, practice those poses in the mirror, really get the muscle memory down and know like if you're not comfortable with this yet, or you don't feel like anywhere near having like a bunch of set poses, just pick 3. Literally just work on 3. Like one sitting pose, one standing pose, and like one laying down pose or something like that. And just have those in your toolbox. Just start with 3. That can be like your baby step for this episode. Just 3. And then, yeah, know your good lighting. Make sure that you stay out of shadows and keep your face towards whatever light source is there. And then wear what makes you feel comfortable. Don't wear anything crazy or tight or that like you have to fidget around in. Just wear something, I guess not even just comfortable, like flattering. That's just flattering from all angles that you don't have to like worry about, sitting or standing in a certain way to like feel confident in it. It should just be very, very flattering and comfy. Okay. I think that's all I have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I would love to see your photos if you take some in the next little while after listening to this. You can just like send them to my Instagram or my email, and I would love to hear if you used my tips and how it felt. So let me know. And if you love this episode, make sure that you share it. You can send it to a friend, family member, coworker, or just share it on your Instagram story. And if you do, make sure to tag me. I want to give out some like free gifts for people that share the podcast on their story. So if you share, I'll probably be reaching out to you and offering you a little something. So do that. And also, if you love this episode, you can leave a rating and a review. I would appreciate it so much. And I love you guys. I hope everyone has a beautiful week. And I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye.